Hey y'all, welcome. Today I'm in Dickson, Tennessee. It is October 13th, Friday the 13th, 2023. Old train station behind me. We're gonna go in the Clement Hotel and Train Museum. Learn about some history. Been by this place several times. Never paid any much attention to it. Never been in it. So we're gonna go in, learn about the hotel, learn about some trains, learn about history, and see what else we can find. So let's do this. And this is who this hotel is named after. He was born on this site. All right. Here we go. We're fixing to go in. Get us some tickets. Take a look around. Learn about some history. All right, here we go. Yes, ma'am. All right, so there's your prices. Now this is called the drummer room.
Drummer's room.
Drummer's room.
Yeah.
It's where the salespeople would come in and set up shop.
Front desk and the original bell, and this is the original book. Sign-in book. It was 75 cents a night, and if you wanted a bath, it was another quarter. Well, he was a governor. He was the youngest
governor. Okay.
Age 32, and he served 2 terms, and then went out for a term and came back, served the 3rd term, and he died at age 49 in a car wreck.
Oh wow, he was young. Oh man.
Yeah. And then this is kind of the train room. It's, you know, it's got these different whistles and stuff. Shows what one of the
Yeah, it was a hard, hot job,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And then the old band, there's a lot of old band rooms, and then they have, this doesn't run anymore because the dust gets on the track, but they have, this used to go around the perimeter of the room, but it doesn't anymore.
Oh, yeah.
That's who built the tracks all the way out.
In Kingston Springs, it's only what, about 20 miles from here?
It's
if that?
not even that.
Not even that?
It's probably about 10 to 15 miles.
Minnie Pearl.
Yeah. And that's Colonel Hooper. He was the president of the chairman or president of the L&M, Louisville, Nashville.
Okay, that's with her?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a decorated veteran. He served in Vietnam and Second World War, Korean conflict, and Vietnam.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is an original light off one of the steam engines.
Does it still work? It was hooked up?
Well, it may, but they don't have I've never seen it come on, let's put it that way.
Okay.
And then they've got different jacks for the cars and everything, and oil cans.
Very nice, very interesting.
And that's what the man's traveling trunk would have looked like, with a place for his hat and his coat and everything.
Like a suitcase.
The women's trunk is a lot smaller than the man's trunk.
Well, that's a complete opposite nowadays, ain't it? Wow.
Yeah, the kids like this room because there's a lot of room. Okay. These three rooms would have been where the proprietor would have stayed. That's probably was a bedroom, sitting room, and then another bedroom. Just to give you an idea of, how everything was set up in here. And actually, Frank Clement's mother-in-law was the proprietress here. Her husband died. He took him up to Kentucky, Scottsville, Kentucky, from Gallatin, Tennessee, and he was pleading a case in court, and he suffered a heart attack and passed away.
Man.
And so she had kids and everything, and so she saw an ad to be the proprietress of this place, and so she approached them, and so she actually ran the hotel. And this is her daughter. This is Maybelle Gold, and she actually married Robert Clement. And then Frank was born in that building that back room back there, and that's actually his original cradle.
Really?
Yeah.
So those are his parents then?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's Maybelle Gold. That's her when she was little.
In the middle picture here?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that a little Frank Clement?
No, I think that's him when he was little, Robert.
Robert? Okay.
Yeah, and then there he is there. I actually think Frank looks a lot more, in his eyes, he looks a lot more like his mother. And he's got her eyes. But he was quite the orator. His aunt was taught debate. I think it was in high school, and so he was on the debate team and everything.
Oh.
So he was actually the speaker at the 1952 Democratic National Convention. He was the keynote speaker. So, which is running upstairs, so you can see that.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a lot of neat stuff over here.
Y'all get quite a few people through here?
Yeah, Fridays are usually not as busy, but she said they've been busy the last few days because the kids have been out of school. So
yeah, Hickman County's been out.
Yeah, they're out for like 2 weeks. And then actually this tells about him being born back here in this room on June 2nd, 1920.
And this is his actual baby cradle.
That's his cradle. And obviously the chamber pots were in there, so.
Is this bed original, do you know?
No, I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay. There's baby Frank.
Which doesn't even look like her, of Maybelle Gold. She doesn't even look like that picture. I mean, she looks so different. It makes her nose look huge.
Yeah, it does.
But I think it's just the way the sun's on it and everything. But that picture is out to the side of this building here.
Okay. Yeah, I saw there was, down the side of the building is Tennessee Music Pathways.
Yeah, Craig Morgan and the guy who wrote the picture of Frank when he was young in high school. And then there he is with Elvis and Colonel Parker in his office.
Well, ain't that something?
And I did run into Elvis when I was out going to the bank up there today.
You did?
It was weird.
Man.
This guy had, and I was thinking about George Jones when I see it, but had the black shirt with the flames coming up.
Yes, ma'am.
You know? And I said, oh, hey, I really like your shirt. And he looked at me and he goes, thank you very much. And obviously this is big iron ore area here. And this is a piece of the iron ore that would have come out, that it would have gone through the crucible and everything, and through one of the ovens. And you can see a big handprint in here, but they used to, it would be liquid when it would come out, and somebody would put their hand in the sand, so when it just took up the imprint of the guy's hand. And this is her, what would have been one of her ball gowns. And that's the guy who, you know, designed the dress and everything.
Okay.
But she didn't get a lot of press during the whole thing. You know, I mean, she was, you know, kind of in the background like they always are when the, you know, with the governor and stuff. But she was pretty, very beautiful.
Yeah, she looked like she was a really pretty lady.
Yeah. It says, even the governor's son gets tired of those grown people talking and talking. The little kid just falls asleep.
That's a nice coat.
Yeah, mink stole. His youngest son had died from, he had a drinking problem. And he died several years ago.
So where is Frank and his wife buried at?
She is buried next to her son in Woodlawn in Nashville, and Frank is out at the Dickson Gardens. And everybody else on that family is, you know, buried out in Dickson. But she didn't want her son. He was the youngest son. She didn't want her youngest son to be there, Forest Lawn by himself.
Be alone.
He did not want to be buried up here. So, and these are just pictures of her later in life. And these are just different inaugural events and pictures of them that people have given to the museum. But yeah, he was quite the orator. He did run for senator, but because he was for desegregation and stuff, that kind of put a squash on it. But he did want to run for Senate, you know.
So he was kind of before his time.
Yes, he was young, but man, he could. I mean, you can hear on this tape up here. He commanded you to listen to what he was saying. He just had that voice. And these are just, you know, these would have been all the hotel rooms up here. This is what a typical hotel room would have looked like. With the, you know, chamber pots and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
This is actually his hat that he wore. Here he is with Fess Parker.
It's got a little dirt and stuff on it.
Yeah, it does. I wonder what she must be holding her purse, I guess, or something back there. This is a little bit about the, you know, downtown and the businesses that were in the town of Dickson at the time. Obviously, the HIS Pants Factory and Shirt Factory, and then they had, you know, tobacco, a lot of tobacco processing places up here, Coca-Cola, Raincoat Factory, all kinds of different things. This is, the Leathers Mill is where Stewart's Lumber is, right where Stewart's Lumber is now. That's where the Leathers Mill was. And these guys, other than producing lumber and that, they produced the Dixie Swatter. And if they weren't made exactly, you know, exactly right, they would, or if they were out of round or something, they would, you know, give them to the employees. So, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this is some of the stuff they made: sledgehammer handles, hammer handles. So this is the 50 millionth shirt that they produced in 1961, and everybody that worked at the factory at the time signed it. And then these are the quadrants, and then this shows where the people that signed it shows where they are in the different quadrants.
You can barely see.
Yeah.
How many names are there, you know?
No, I sure don't, but they had a lot of employees.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. American Cigar Company.
Yeah. Well, you can see over here at the HIS Pants Factory, that was all the people who worked in that factory. So there's a lot of people in there. And then this is just kind of a cross-section of the different people up at the square in Charlotte. That's the courthouse. And then here's Bob Clement and Docky Weems, who was his debate coach and aunt, and Montgomery Bell. And that's the Juilliards. I think she's the one from Cumberland Furnace, which that house is still there, and they do have events there.
Okay.
And these are just different people from the era that were doctors and that type of thing, and businessmen. This guy is Solly Bibb from White Bluff. His family owns a lot of property around there.
And Charlotte is the county seat of Dickson.
Yeah, and it's named after her, Charlotte Reeves Robertson, James Robertson's wife.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course now they don't use it anymore. They built a brand new Justice Center across the street. It's huge, really nice. But they couldn't house, everything in there anymore. It was too small. And this is what it would originally have looked like before they built the add-ons to the side. Because this you can see they built two sides onto the original building.
And this is the courthouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
The old courthouse. And then this is all about the iron ore industry and where the furnaces were, and about Montgomery Bell. And Montgomery Bell bought the iron ore industry from James Robertson.
Okay.
Yeah, so he took all that stuff over. And then the Promised Land, I don't know if you've been out there, it's off of 48, off of St. Paul Street when you come out of Charlotte.
No ma'am.
Yeah, there's only 2 buildings left up there. Of course, Dickson has had several names, mile marker, milepost 42. And then it was named something else, and they had to change it. That's when they changed it to Dickson, because another city was named that. It's out there on that historical marker, which I think you probably took a picture of. And we actually had our own socialist colony out there at Ruskin colony out there where the Ruskin Caves are. And this is old jam making equipment. And the gentleman in that picture, he had a newspaper, and then he decided he was going to move on to something else. And then everybody started bickering because people were working hard. You know, some people were working harder than other people, and the whole thing, it only lasted like 5 years. And the whole thing fell apart. So.
And a bad glare.
Yeah, this is a mock-up of what one of the furnaces would look like, and then you can see the cross section. You know how they ran everything. You know how the bellows heated up the coal or the charcoal in the lime. They put the charcoal in the limestone and the iron ore in there, and then it comes out down there where the molds are once it's liquidized. This is a piece of raw iron ore that they get out of the ground, and then this is what comes out of the molds. It's called pig iron, and then they take that and further refine it into cast iron.
And that big chunk is raw.
Yeah. I think there's probably at least one furnace that's still standing, but I'm not sure where it is. But that's what an original one would look like there. And of course they made cannonballs and, you know, rifle ammo and all that other kind of stuff, musket balls and stuff.
You still see a lot of those little clothes iron around.
Yeah, there's one right there.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah, my grandma and great-grandma, they had several.
And then this is, I don't know if you've been to the Narrows of the Harpeth. If you've ever gone down there on a canoe.
No, ma'am.
Well, if you get down so far, there's a hole that Montgomery Bell put through that rock to let the water through. And you could, you know, in the summer, you can walk all the way through to the other side. But the reason he did that was he had a furnace down there or in that vicinity, and he could run the water wheel off the water coming through there at certain times of the year, which made sense.
Yeah.
You know, then he didn't have to, you know, waste as much, you know, trying to put the water source in. Yeah.
It's an old wheelchair.
Yeah. And then the Bell family, that was just, you know, they were the original doctors and stuff in this area.
And that's part of Montgomery Bell's family?
No, this is a different Bell, I think. He may be a relationship with him, but it doesn't show on it. They had a clinic.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he died on my birthday. Wow. I never saw that. Never looked at the bottom part.
Actual day and year?
No.
Different year?
1997. No, I was born way before.
Oh, okay.
And this is this is Dr. Walter Bell's bag. And so it's got all the stuff that he would have made on house calls and different things. And then this is some of the cast iron.
Yeah, more cast iron.
Yeah. And that's the actual furnace in Cumberland Furnace. Of course, it's not there anymore. In the in the Capitol, and when that tornado came through, it had, you can see it. They had to redo it. You can see here on the side.
Touch up.
Yeah.
Picture of Frank Clement.
And these two buildings were actually, that building and this building were actually attached at one point. So you could walk through to there.
What was that building? More
I think it
rooms
was,
or?
No, I think it was businesses and path. And he graduated from Dickson Central High School in 1937, and he is right there.
Is this the actual picture, or is this a this is the actual one?
Yeah, it looks like it is the actual picture. I mean, because some of the photos are faded. And
yeah. Here's another picture. Mr. Clement.
Frank was also big into prison reform, and there were 5 guys that were in the, I don't know if you know where the Cockrell Bend State Prison is. Well, it's down there in Nashville, but the Green Mile was filmed in there.
Okay.
And there was like 5 black guys from Memphis that were on death row. And he commuted their sentence to life imprisonment because he said it just didn't make any sense that they were all from one area. And I mean, after he studied it and everything, you know, because they did, you know, when they desegregated, then they just used the prisons to, you know, intimidate them.
Yes, ma'am. So they become the prisoners.
Yeah. Yeah, and these guys, he actually wrote, this guy Johnny, he actually wrote Walking in the Rain. And Frank used to have him come up to the mansion and perform, and they perform all over the place. They went down to Sun Records and recorded, and actually Sam Phillips was on this guy because of his diction, and there was a guy sitting out in the waiting room with his guitar, and so Sam Phillips went out to run him off basically and said, you know, get out of here, I told you not to be in here. And so Johnny came out and he said, well, why don't you let him help me with my diction so I can get the words clear and do all that. And it was Elvis.
Oh, wow.
So he and Elvis were really good friends. Johnny Bragg, which is the guy in the middle.
The guy in the middle?
This guy right here.
That one, okay.
Yeah, but they did doo-wop stuff. They, you know, when somebody would be let out, they didn't want to get out because they had, you know, the money went into a trust for them and everything. But they got to travel all over. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to have life in prison, but I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a book about it. I mean, it's really totally hilarious. So. And that is him speaking at the Democratic National Convention in the early 1950s.
National farm income cash receipts were $32.7 billion. Under the Republican administration, it's down $3.5 billion. under a Democratic administration in 1952. Gross farm income, $36.9 billion. Under the Republicans, down $4 billion. Under the Democrats, total net income of the farmers, nearly $15 billion.
And this is the campaign speech for running for Senate.
Well, no, this is the keynote speech at the Democratic National Convention. So he was a keynote speaker
Okay.
at the convention.
Since the Republicans came in. Well, looking at those mortgage figures again, you know, you just can't help but feel.
He's a stern speaker.
Well, he uses his arms a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the tip before the radio or the television.
So is this his original desk?
Yes, this
An
is
original chair?
Yeah, this is the desk and everything that was in the governor's mansion.
I see that he was a
I mean,
Mason.
in the yeah, that he was in the Capitol.
So I wonder, does each governor get their own chair and
Oh, I'm sure they
desk?
do. I'm sure they do.
Instead of, you know, like the president, it gets handed down
Yeah.
year after
For the
year.
Democratic AAA, they substituted the Republican Triple B, Dickson, below parity and bankruptcy. And speaking of bankruptcy,
And that's the Capitol.
Yeah, that's a model of the
what happened to
Capitol.
the small businessman in America? It's not just a farm problem, it's a contagious thing. Look what's happened to the small businessman under this PBG, big business government of the Republican Party. Again, I quote from the statistical abstract of the United States. Bankruptcies in 1950, when we had a Democratic president, 33,000. 51, 35,000. 52, our last year in office, it went down to 34,000. For a total of those three.
Those are his son. That's Frank Clement. I mean, that's the governor, and then his son Frank Clement, and then that's Bob Clement.
So he had a junior.
Yeah, I don't know if he was called Junior or not, but because he wasn't, Bob was born before him.
Okay.
So I guess you would call him a Junior. So
He was also a Methodist minister.
New vision is needed in foreign affairs. The one word that accurately describes
That's what it would feel like being the governor of Tennessee.
is the word drifting. The foreign policy which the Democratic leadership of America tried so desperately to keep in proper
What's this letter?
on a non-partisan basis has suffered under the present itinerant nomadic leadership of the Republican Party to the point that our standing among the nations of the world has, we're sorry to say, reached an all-time low. We have
All right, we're going to go into the train room. Lots of toy trains. Lots of pictures of trains, locomotives. They don't have the trains running today. There's nobody in here. But they got it set up. Now this horn is from General Motors. I bet that dude is loud. Alright, so this area right in here that I'm showing you is circa 1924 here in Dickson. And this area up here in the corner is 1950. Now this house, or well house, but this building right here is the building we're in right now. And then the rest of this is just kind of filled in modern day stuff. And as the old saying goes, see what the... All right, we're gonna head back downstairs. I'm gonna head on out. There's another shot of the old train station depot down the tracks. And I think I'm going to head on over and visit Mr. Clement's final resting place, Dickson Memorial Gardens. All right, so I've made it to the Dickson County Memorial Gardens. I'm going to try to find the resting place of Frank Clement. Alright, so I've kind of been walking around for 15, 20 minutes, I guess. I've asked a few people if they knew where it was at. And I asked this one lady, and she said she had no idea. So I went looking, and then she called me back. And she said, "Sir, it may be off down there by the big statue, because there's some Clements down there." I said, "Okay, well, I'll go look." And sure enough, she was right. There it is. Mr. Frank Gold Clement. 1920, 1969. Governor of Tennessee. Now, like the lady was saying back at the hotel, unfortunately, he died in a car wreck. He was 49 years old. There he is. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here. Starting to get cloudy, like it's going to rain. But if you want to come visit the grave of Frank Clement, the Florida-Tennessee governor, he's buried at the Dickson County Memorial Gardens. Basically, right when you come in, just pull up and stop right there at park. Come in. He's right here on this row. He's the third one down from the tree. All right, guys. That's going to do it for today. Appreciate you watching. Please subscribe. Like, hit that big thumbs up. Share these videos with people. And hit that notification bell so you know when I put new video content out. And set it to all. All right, but until next time, thank you and good night.